Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. Now, we started kind of a little series for the next several videos, and this is what we started with last video. And we looked, and then here's what it says: is the scientific method scientific? And this is part 1 of 5. There's 5 because in the scientific method there are 5 steps, and they are observation, question, hypothesis, experiment, and conclusion. So we started with last video, observation, and I still have it on here, and these are some of the facts, but I forgot to give you the in the Course in Miracles, the reference information. It's on the description of the last video, but we'll go through it in a minute. Observations are not just sight. Observations take into account all your senses. All your senses are used. All observations are subjective. Very important point. Subjective. Your observations must be made within your belief system. Your observations are in first person, objective. So you observe, you smell, you taste, you touch, you hear. And from those observations, you develop, through the scientific method, first of all, what we're going to talk about today is questions. Questions is a second step in the process. So in a moment, we're going to change this and look at something else. Now, just to keep you informed, today I'm having a little pine needle tea. Never thought of it before. But on YouTube, I saw a survival video where a guy was living in the woods and surviving. And one of the things he did was make pine needle tea. So I decided to get some just to see what it tasted like. I never had it before. I don't know if it's good for you or not. If you got any ideas or suggestions what it's good for, put them in the comments, because I'd like to know. Now, this is what we talked about last time, the observation. The observation, which is in first person, subjective, and there is no objective world. I have a video on that, and I'll reference it up there along with the last video. So in a moment, just like that, we'll change. And now our subject for this video. And here it is right here. I got a little star next to it. I kept the top part so we have some continuity as to what we're doing as we are looking at, is the scientific method scientific? And we're looking at the second step, which is questioning. So we're going to talk about, in this video, formulation of questions. Formulation, how do we do that? So there's a lot on the board. I'm going to go through it. Some of you will recognize it very quickly as the standard model for the illusion, and I'll reference that playlist up here. Everything builds on everything else. So it will be helpful to go through particularly Part 1 and Part 2 of the standard model for the illusion. Now, out here, I'm representing the unknown, what you're going to investigate, the unknown. And I have sensory input. Now, notice that each one of the colors of the sensory input is represented in this schematic over here of the unknown. Because each one of your senses picks up different information. And also, I can only reference 5 things. But the next one, that I think is the third one, third thing I can reference on this video is looking at how we create in tracks. We create, and that's what these sensories are, we're creating in tracks, each one individually, and then we are rendering a complete understanding. So I'll reference that up here too. Now, when you reference the model, you have sensory input, and then all that data, that input data, the raw data, must be filtered. So this is a filter. You got to filter it because it doesn't make any sense until you know what it is. So you are taking from the unknown information through your senses. You are filtering it through your subconscious mind, which is your belief system, and your memories, and your experiences of life. And you are, out of that, coming up with meaningful data for you. Might not be meaningful for me, but it is meaningful for you. And if there's any information in here coming from the senses, from the unknown, which is you have no reference information to, you just throw it out. Your conscious mind will never know that you did it because it does it so fast. Your conscious mind is so slow. Won't know it. And so you will believe, oh, everything that I'm doing, I'm aware of consciously. Your conscious mind is so puny compared to what you're doing in the subconscious mind and through the senses that it's pathetic. But you will believe it's true and it's all you know. So that's what I'm part of the question of the questioning is to begin to recognize you don't know what you think you know. This is an illusion that you are in. And nothing in the illusion is what you think it is. It's always different. Nothing is what you think it is. So your memories that you hold in the subconscious mind, none of them are the event. They are unique creations by you that you use now to filter incoming information. Now, since your memories are creations that you made and you are using them to filter the information from the unknown observation, what are you going to find? What are you going to find in that data when you filter it? What you already know. Not on a conscious level, but through this very deep and very big subconscious mind that holds all you know. So from that, unique to you, you create meaningful data unique to you. Now, that's how we observe. Now, we're going to question. Now, you made objective observations in first person, and they were subjective. Now you're going to create questions from subjective information. They can't be objective. It doesn't work that way. You can't take subjective information and make objective questions from it. The questions will be subjective. So what are we questioning? We are questioning what you already know. Because that's all that everything else you filtered out. And now from that meaningful information from you, you interpret that and create questions about the observation. And your conscious mind observes those creations and projects it onto the unknown energy system. And then your sensory information will verify it. So again, it's a closed loop. Now let's look scientifically at our progress right now and look at, which I forgot to do last time, A Course in Miracles and what the Course has to say about this. Now this is kind of profound because I have already said this is an illusion. The Course. The world asks but one question. It is this: of these illusions, which one of them is true? Of these illusions, which one of them is true? Or scientific? And as you look out here and make observation, and you say, well, it's an illusion. I'm creating this on the inside, and I create a lot. Which one of these illusions are true or scientific? What's the answer? None of them. What's your belief system? Oh, that's very scientific. Look at how we're doing this. We're doing this way. And it's very scientific. No, it's an illusion. But it looks so good. And it's so successful that you've got to believe that this is very scientific. again, of these illusions, which one is true? Now, we have gone through, again, the standard model for the illusion in a little different way. I've done this about a dozen times because it's always exciting to see how I'm going to do it the next time. And right now, we have to say the questioning is subjective, not very scientific. So I did come up with some questions. I wish I would have marked them so I don't have to read this whole damn thing. But what it was around thinking of a pie and looking as a pie out here in the unknown. And what might be some of the questions that we might ask? And of course, they'd be very scientific in the illusion. And it is this: do people like warm pie or cold pie better? That could be one of our hypotheses that we'll talk about next video. And another one might be, do people like apple pie or cherry more? So that's another question that we came up with here in part 2 that will convert into a hypothesis in step 3. So stick around if you've got the willpower to question, is the scientific method scientific? Now, if you go on YouTube, you're going to find a lot of information about how we live in an simulation, how we live in a simulation. So you can go look at some of that and see what they have. Very intelligent scientists coming up with, I think we live in an simulation, which is an illusion. And I'll reference another video on that. I've just noticed that the sun is now shining and might be glaring on this side of the board. Do the best you can. I can't take it out now. And we'll get together next time here in the illusion. How exciting will that be to meet? And then we can kind of think, which one of the illusions is true? Bye now.